Fox News has reportedly been gripped by paranoia and fear as on-air personalities worry they could be next to go after last week's surprise ouster of Tucker Carlson. Meanwhile, President Biden joked about a possible rematch with Donald Trump in 2024 as Trump's likely main rival for the GOP nomination. Ron DeSantis loses steam. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. The conservative movement is in a state of panic and disarray right now after a string of electoral and legal defeats. Their frontrunner for the nomination is currently under indictment and facing more investigations. They keep losing big races in key swing states, from the 2022 Senate races to the Wisconsin Supreme Court election in April. And now their leading propaganda network has been forced to pay out a massive defamation settlement and cut ties with their top-rated host, Tucker Carlson, seen here recording a hostage video from the inside of a Bass Pro Shop. And that sense of panic and fear has apparently set in at Fox News itself. Rolling Stone reported the top on-air presenters are openly worrying about getting fired. Management is on the prowl for leakers, and the leakers themselves are dodging snitches by putting fake names in their phone to hide incoming calls from reporters. Oh my God, fake names is so much fun. Oh, sorry, gotta take this. It's my Aunt Joan, as you can all see from the caller ID. Hi, Joan, what's that? You need to have a tooth extracted? Oh my God, that's terrible. You know what else is terrible and about to get extracted? Tucker Carlson. Okay, gotta go. I love you, Joan, and just like this, in every conversation, this is off the record. Of course, knowing their hosts, I'm guessing some of their names are much dumber. Like Brian Kilmeade definitely has a reporter listed in his phone as Santa Claus, although that's definitely will backfire on him. When that person calls, he's gonna think it's actually Santa Claus. Oh my God, good, you got my letter. Okay, I wanna change the PlayStation to an Xbox, and also I'm not into Funko Pops anymore. The sense of panic at Fox is apparently so intense that other hosts who pushed the big lie about the 2020 election are worried they could also get fired. Maria Bartiromo and Jeanine Pirro, two longtime hosts and Donald Trump allies, have told friends they're concerned they could be sacked next. Oh my God, it's like a horror movie, except in this movie, the axe murderer is a 92-year-old Australian man, and instead of chasing his victims, he just makes them come to him. Pick up some speed and run to this chainsaw, you. Also, we'll know when Jeanine Pirro gets fired because it'll get so quiet. We're right across the street from the Fox News headquarters, and we can hear her screaming whenever she's on the air. Here, I'll show you. Open the window.
You presented him with your fake dossier, alleging the president had prostitutes peeing on him in Moscow, and it's possible...
Close it! One thing is clear, Fox definitely seems like an insane place to work. As we told you last week, Fox reportedly has a dossier of alleged dirt on Tucker Carlson, and he's not the only one. They reportedly do it to all their on-air personalities. One ex-Fox News anchor lamented any talent like Tucker would have a lot of things, other people complaining, they encourage it, and then just keep it on file. It's just a classic dirty trick. And another departed Fox News host added, it's classic Fox. That's insane. They keep files full of damaging information so they can use it against you later as blackmail. Not only does NBC not have a file on me, they don't even know what I do here. Like, the other day, I saw an executive in the hallway, and they said, hey, Weekend Update was great on Saturday. And I said, thanks, but I have my own show now. And they said, you do? Well, we're sorry to see you go. And I was like, no, it's on... It's on NBC, and they said, what time? And I said, 12:37 in the morning. And then they laughed like that was a joke, but it's not a joke time. It's a real time. I didn't pick it, all right? I wasn't like, oh, no, I want a 7 in there. Anyway, the sense of panic and fear over at the right's leading propaganda network is emblematic of where the MAGA movement is right now, broadly speaking. Just look at Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's been sinking in the polls after starting out with a lot of hype. Look how nervous and shaky he is now that he's hit some roadblocks and has come under fire from Donald Trump.
What will Ron DeSantis do? He is trailing in the polls, struggling with endorsements, and Trump clearly smells blood.
According to a new Wall Street Journal poll taken last week, Trump pulled in 48% of the support among likely Republican primary voters. The next person closest to him is DeSantis, who is 24 points behind.
Governor, polls show you falling behind Trump. Any thoughts on that?
Guys,
I'm not a candidate, so we'll see if and when that changes.
Okay, you guys know the last hole on a mini golf course over here? I mean, that's one question. He answered one question. He looks like he's plunging 400 feet on a roller coaster. DeSantis is getting nervous because Trump has been attacking him relentlessly, both in public and behind the scenes. For example, Trump's campaign orchestrated a series of endorsements from GOP members of Congress from DeSantis' home state of Florida, specifically to embarrass DeSantis and get inside his head. Trump's aides have reportedly mocked DeSantis' staff as a bunch of amateurs, with multiple officials belly laughing with one another over how much Trump had, in their verbiage, cucked the Florida governor on securing endorsements from the state's congressional delegation. The ploy was part of a deliberate effect to, in the words of one of the sources familiar with the matter, embarrass and mind DeSantis as much as possible. And if anyone's capable of a mind, it's Donald Trump. I mean, back in 2016, Lindsey Graham said that if they nominated Trump, the Republican Party would be destroyed and they would deserve it. And now he's on TV crying and begging for supporters to send money to Trump's legal fund. He probably has no memory of what happened in between. His body's covered in Sharpie like the guy from Memento. He's my you. What the hell? Meemaw, have you been writing on me in your sleep again? Told you to break the ambience in half, you witch. DeSantis is getting shaky because the hype is giving way to reality as election season gets closer. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the 2024 presidential election is already ramping up, which is insane. I can't stand how early these things start now. The other day, my 5-year-old came home from school and told me he launched an exploratory committee for 2076. Then I asked him if he has a super PAC, and he told me, no, that's just a backpack. And that is today's Politics Jokes for Kids. See? Kids can watch a closer look, too. Anyway, enough of that bull. I'm sorry. Kids are watching. Enough of that nonsense. Now, obviously, we're still a year and a half away, so a lot could change. Like, I don't know, the Republican nominee could be running while under house arrest. Sleepy Joe has been a disaster for this country. Sorry, that's my ankle monitor. My ankle monitor is very smart and knows whenever I leave my house, which means my probation officer will be here shortly to escort me back home. Probation! We love probation, don't we, folks? One of the best bations. It means you're a pro at bation. And, of course, the only level above pro when it comes to bation is master, and that's a politics joke for 12-year-olds. NBC has asked us to hit all the major demographics. So anyway, a lot can change, but as of right now, the likely matchup we're looking at is a rematch between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and voters really don't seem to want that.
Americans are not excited about the prospect of a Joe Biden-Donald Trump rematch.
This is a rematch nobody wants.
There is very little appetite on either side of the political spectrum for a rematch here. And as you see there, 70% do not believe that Joe Biden should run for president again, and 60% believe Donald Trump should not either.
At this point, the Biden-Trump rematch just feels like your 6-month checkup at the dentist. Like, when they ask you when you want to come back, you want to say never, but, you know, you just have to pick a random Tuesday in November and get it over with. You guys remember how thrilling the 2008 election was? Hundreds of thousands of people pouring into the streets across the country, hugging and celebrating all night. 2008 was like a coked-up midnight rave in a Brooklyn warehouse compared to 2024. A Biden versus Trump rematch is like a book club you feel obligated to attend, even though everyone there annoys the out of you. No, Jessica, I did not read the book. No one read the book. I'm here for the wine, and if you got a problem with that, you can go eat, pray, and yourself. I read the cover, Jessica. Even Biden's announcement that he was running for re-election was sedated. It was just a video message he posted on the 4-year anniversary of his first presidential bid. And over the weekend, Biden joked about that announcement at the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I just announced my re-election campaign. Some of you scooped that I'd announced in the video. But really, you really all thought in your heart that I just blurted out, didn't you?
I mean, yeah, of course we did. I just assumed that's how we'll find out if aliens are real. Look, here's the deal, Jack. When I was a kid growing up in Scranton, I didn't have money for the bus, so I rode a bike. Just like E.T., who's real, by the way. I met him. Just met E.T. at Area 51. Took him for a joyride in my Stingray. He just phoned home. He told him it was rad. But yes, Biden did announce his re-election bid in a video message last week as opposed to a live address, which was a good call. That way, if he wandered off at the end, they could just edit that part out. Look, we're never going to stop using that video. And you know why? Because Republicans give us new content nonstop, but for Biden, that's pretty much it. Well, that and the stare thing. As we mentioned, Biden released that video on the 4-year anniversary of his first campaign launch, which is crazy to me. I can't believe it's been 4 years since Biden first announced he was running for president. Since then, we've had a pandemic, an economic meltdown, a coup attempt. It doesn't feel like 4 years, it feels like 40 years. I mean, when was Trump's first announcement? 1912? Was it in black and white newsreel footage? Here he comes, boys, the mammoth of Midtown, the behemoth of business, the colossus of crime, Mr. Donald J. Trump himself. Look at him waving as he rides down the escalator from the Trump Tower food court. Give him hell, Donald. And that's a joke for old people. We did it. We did it. We got all the major demographics. NBC's gonna be so happy when they find out this show exists. Wait, what's that? The MAGA movement and their leading propaganda network are in a state of panic and disarray because they keep losing. Their political project has been a disaster, and now they're facing a series of electoral, financial, and legal consequences. Their top-rated host just got axed. Their current frontrunner is under criminal indictment, and their next best hope is a guy who looks like he just saw
Martians peeing on prostitutes.
audio callback. This has been a closer look. Hey, everybody. I just want to take a quick moment to say that there's currently a negotiation going on with the Writers Guild of America and the studios. A strike might happen as of late tonight, which means this show will be interrupted, and we won't be here to spend time with you. I want to say how grateful I am that both sides are sitting down at the table right now and that they're negotiating, and I'm hopeful that they will be able to come to an agreement. This is a show that is built on strong writing. Strong writing is essential to this show. It's essential to any show where the host, myself, is at best a C+ performer. Really gotta have the jokes. I love writing. I love writing for TV. I love writing this show. I love that we get to come in with an idea for what we want to do every day, and we get to work on it all afternoon, and then I have the pleasure of coming out here and saying those words to you. No one is entitled to a job in show business, but for those people who have a job in show business, they are entitled to fair compensation. They are entitled to make a living. I think it's a very reasonable demand that is being set out by the Guild, and I support those demands. But I also believe that everybody at the table right now, be it from the writer side or the studio side, knows that the future of this business is dependent on storytellers. And so I'm optimistic and hopeful that because everyone at the table believes that, they're going to hammer out a deal, and that I can be here with you tomorrow, because I promise there's no place in the world that I would rather be. And I'm going to be here the rest of the night. We'll be right back with Chance the Rapper.